Hello and welcome to the IGN UK podcast. I'm joined by Chris Tilley.
Duck Hunt.
And Daniel Creeper.
Hello.
On this week's podcast, we're going to talk about some of the biggest stuff that's happened this year. Starting with Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Now, I've been playing a bit of Black Ops 3. I'm not particularly interested in it, even though we gave it a 9.2. But the one thing that I do like about it, or I think is at least interesting, is zombies. Now, Rory's a huge zombies fan. We've played
just in general.
Yes, exactly.
Just in general.
But it's got some huge stars as the cast.
Has it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What's a huge star?
Well, in gaming...
You said it.
That's
You
a bit
said
on the
it.
back foot, Alex.
In gaming terms.
Prove
Okay.
yourself.
So you've got the four main characters are Jeff Goldblum,
Huge star.
Ron Perlman,
He's
Big
tall.
star, big star.
Tall.
Heather Graham,
Huge. I mean, she's huge star.
and then Neil McDonough.
Who you didn't know until just now.
Well, I knew who he was. I didn't know what his name was.
You do know him. He's Dum Dum Dugan from Captain America.
Right.
Yeah, do you know
Right,
Dum
he's
Dum?
in Band of Brothers.
Is it not a Dum Dum a type of donut? Oh, that's a Yum Yum.
Why are you talking about donuts?
Is
You
that-
said Neil McDonut.
I wouldn't. Say,
Did that,
Oh,
did
yeah,
that
good
pass you
point.
by?
Good point.
I wouldn't say it's a donut. It's probably a
It's-
similar.
it's a batter,
dough.
yeah.
yeah. Similar finish.
And then you cook it in a similar way, I think.
He's got haunting eyes.
What, the Yum Yum?
Yeah. The Dum Dum. So
And then it's also the man who plays the Shadow Man is Jean-Luc Picard. I can't remember his real name. Richard Ricardo?
Patrick Stewart.
No.
Why is he Jean-Luc Picard?
It's because his surname sounds a bit like Ricardo.
Ah, okay.
It sounds
It's
more
not-
like...
It's not really Jean-Luc Picard.
Probably you should say it's Robert
That's
Picardo.
Robert Picardo.
And he was
Okay.
he was Dr. Lewis Zimmerman in Deep Space Nine, and then he came back as Voyager as a doctor.
See?
The Doctor as a hologram.
There is a Star Trek tie in. Engage.
yeah, yeah.
So where is this conversation going?
Anyway, so Jeff Goldblum. So my point with Jeff Goldblum, yeah, all right, okay, he's perhaps not the world's biggest star now,
Yeah.
but
He's fantastic in this.
He's well known.
He's great in this.
Yeah.
But I also would say it's probably the best thing he's done in a long time as well.
Apart from my favourite film of last year, Grand Budapest Hotel.
I've not seen that. Was he good in that?
The
He's good.
Oscar-winning Grand Budapest Hotel.
He's good in it.
Was he the lead?
No.
He was also
There
in
you go.
Mordecai. So it's a mixed year for Jeff.
Well, yeah, I want to talk about whether he's A-list or B-list,
yeah.
but I thought, do you want to do that now?
No,
or
we'll
yeah, come
go
on to
to
it?
that in a minute.
Yeah, let's get to the point.
Let's just kind of outline, for those who haven't played the game, so there are four characters within Zombies. Each of these actors plays one of those characters. So Goldblum plays a kind of like, not a wizard, a magician. I was trying to think, what's a real life
We're
wizard
confusing
called?
a real thing for a...
Yes.
Well, I made that mistake in an interview recently with one of the stars of Warcraft. It didn't go particularly well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, what was it like playing a magician? He got quite angry.
So you did the opposite of
I did,
what I did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rookie.
Similar thing
It's on the
happened.
superhero show last week, if you want to check it out, the week
Okay.
before.
Why is it on the Super Show?
Because we were talking about X-Men. No, it's not on the superhero show, that bit. It's just another awkward bit from the interview. Go back to what you were saying.
Heather Graham plays I think a hooker is too strong a term, but a lady of the night.
Well, you just
anyway,
did it.
Too strong a term.
Yeah, but like you don't actually see a
It's disrespectful.
hook. Is that what hookers do?
I'm out. Hooking.
Ron Perlman plays a boxer who has like knuckle
Boxes.
dusters inside his gloves.
Cheap.
I don't know where this is going.
He's a cheat. You came up with it.
and then
And then Jean-Luc Picard is the captain of the
Oh no. Shall we just call it a day?
No, tell me whether Jeff Goldblum is
No,
A-list
no,
or
no,
B-list.
no.
we have to talk about this first. I think Jeff Goldblum's really good in this game because he's obviously just gone into a studio. They give him a bunch of lines and say, read these lines in the most Jeff Goldblum way that you can possibly do.
But it
And he does a
works.
fantastic job of it.
He's
just
really
like-
good at being Jeff
Well,
Goldblum.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very good at that. He's very good at being Jeff Goldblum, making funny noises and having very long hands. Do you know that? He's got massive hands.
Does he?
Yeah, he's a very talented pianist. He's got really weird, long, like child catcher hands.
Weirdly, the other day, two different friends of mine had posted pictures on Facebook of them with Jeff Goldblum at the same jazz gig. Yeah, he did a gig in LA not long ago, playing piano with his long hands.
Yeah.
And
It's a long hands, a long fingers.
No, both. He can play a piano from across the room.
That's arms.
Yeah. No, fingers, they're that long.
Or is it?
Yeah.
Is his palms big?
It's
got
that
big
long.
palms.
It's like the Babadook.
you guys are having a great time. I mean, I'm
I'm
a little
laughing more
bit.
at Alex laughing.
I'm a little bit lost.
Anyway, yeah, let's go back. Okay, let's...
But he's doing an advert as well. He's everywhere.
He is. He's done a Christmas advert. One of which involves him teaching people how to act when they get a present they don't want and pretend they like it.
It's very
and
useful.
apparently 2 other companies have done that same advert this Christmas. So this Christmas there's 3 adverts in rotation with the same...
Not with
point.
Jeff Goldblum.
No.
That'd be amazing.
That's his thing.
He was shopping the idea around.
So, is Jeff Goldblum A-list or B-list, Chris?
Well, our colleagues at the Football Ramble had this argument recently with some of their listeners because Luke's very much a big Jeff Goldblum fan and says he's A-list, whereas I would say he's B-list.
I wouldn't say he's done anything A-list for a while.
I mean, I'm going to give you a list now. Mortar Guy, Morning Glory, The Switch, Spinning Boris, Dallas 362, Adam Resurrected. These are all movies he's made in the last decade.
Are you saying you wouldn't put him on a par with like Chris Pratt or someone like that?
No, definitely not. I think A-list, in terms of fame, he's certainly got fame, but he can't, like, a real A-lister can open a movie. He can't open a movie. Now, no one's going to go and see a movie because he's in it.
Yeah.
And my little bit of evidence I have is I recently went on the set of Independence Day 2, Independence Day Resurgence. And the director, Roland Emmerich, was talking about the fact that Will Smith didn't want to do the movie. He kind of pulled out. And I think he was trying to do damage limitation about the fact that Will Smith had left the project. But equally, I actually saw his point. He said he didn't want to do it, but I'm kind of glad, because the point with Independence Day was no one was that famous in it. No one was A-list in the first movie.
Right.
So you didn't know who was going to die. It was before Will Smith. It's the one that made Will Smith famous.
Right.
So it's like an old-fashioned disaster movie where anyone can go. He said, if he was in this movie, and we did want him, but he didn't want to do it, it would suddenly become a Will Smith movie, and he'd have to be the hero and this and that. And he said, that's not what this is. The point of Independence Day is it's bigger than any of the actors in it. It's about the aliens and the event. And so he basically said, effectively, that he is... Jeff Goldblum is B-list. That's why he's in the movie.
And that means and he dies in the movie.
He's expendable.
So but apart from The Fly and The Fly 2, was Goldblum ever A-list?
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, but like...
Again, it was Jurassic Park, wasn't it, rather than the people in it?
Yeah, but
I think he was discussion. What do you think A-list? Because we've said A-list is opening a movie, but then there's stars who you could maybe say are A-list that aren't leading man, leading lady material. Yeah, but they're still A-list.
He is Mr. B movie though. He has done a hell of a lot of B movies. Yeah. Earth Girls Are Easy, Transylvania 5-6000. Just I'm thinking of the ones in the 80s that he did.
So maybe
you bring him in to add a little bit of spice to your movie. He's like,
but what spice?
I mean, what spice?
Yeah, amazing spice.
He's unique.
Oh, I thought that was literally a question. What spice?
No, it's one of his films from the early 90s.
What spice would he be?
No, it's a joke.
A cardamom.
But so maybe he's found his calling in life. Maybe he's a brilliant...
Call of Duty Zombies.
Yeah, well, maybe... I just meant video games, Daniel.
Okay. He's got a great voice. He's really
very
good at
distinctive
reactions.
voice.
Like, that's the thing. Like, a lot of things you remember in Jurassic World when he does like the weird, like, chortle laughing. Like, put that as a soundbite in a game. Great.
He's having a resurgence. He'll have a resurgence because of Independence Day Resurgence, and we all know that he's going to be, if not in the next Jurassic Park, and then the one after.
I think
there's no doubt.
I reckon they'll bring him back.
He has to, because I was just about to ask the question: did he die? But I don't think he did.
Definitely didn't.
No.
I think they'll have both him and Alan Grant in the same movie, because they've not yet done that. Because they had them in different sequels, put them together.
What about Perlman? A-list or B-list?
Nah, no.
B-list.
He's definitely B-list.
Definitely B-list.
So they're all B-list, is what we're
But
saying.
really good, like, B-list.
But Heather Graham was B-list. Now she might have dropped down to C.
Yeah.
Apart from Hangover.
Yeah, because it's long. Like, what was the last massive thing she did? Austin Powers.
That was a long time.
That was a long time ago.
Swingers, yeah.
And
then Dum Dum Dugan.
Yeah. No, he was in Desperate Housewives.
But the point is, have they just cast the right people for the right roles? They're not really looking for A-listers.
But they're going for that feel. They're going for the exploitation vibe to it. That's the whole point of the zombies feel. It's like
cult. I'm seeing cult.
Okay.
These are cult actors in cult movies, and they're playing zombies in them.
But the thing I liked is that obviously you recognise Perlman straight away. You recognise Goldblum straight away. I had to look up the other two. I
you didn't know what Heather Graham looked like?
Well, she doesn't really look like Heather Graham in the game.
Sure.
I know what she looks like, and similarly, the other guy, Jean-Luc Picard, whose name I can't remember again.
And Neil McDonough.
Him.
Yeah, and Neil McDonough.
I didn't know. It didn't look like him in the game. He just looks like he's a kind of a cop that's washed up on his luck. God damn.
But they're good in the game.
They're very good
It's a
in the
really
game.
weird setup as well. It's like 1920s, 30s noir film meets Blade Runner, and then there's zombie squids running around.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it's just all
whatsoever.
But does it
it's
work?
nuts.
Does it work?
Oh,
Is
it's
it
fun.
combination.
So alongside the kind of single player story mode,
Which is
is
really
set in the
po-faced.
future, and it's exactly that. It's so
Thinks
kind of
it's really-
serious
yeah.
and trying to tackle kind of real world problem. It's bloody awful. I do not like it at all. But this is a complete juxtaposition from that, like completely separate.
I'd almost like
completely
the
different,
entire
and-
game to be that.
Yeah.
Like going through weird settings, throwing everything at it. Like the fact that we're fighting wasps that explode in your face, and then you can turn into a squid that just zooms around
Yeah.
the level.
It feels a little
It's
bit
really
like, with Pixar films,
nuts.
obviously they've got the big thing, but the shorts at the beginning they can just experiment and do crazy stuff with. It feels a bit like
I feel
that.
like they're
It's
a bit off the chain for that. But yeah, you
Yeah.
gotta like be creative.
and do whatever you want, and it works. So I wonder if that will shift further up
Yeah.
the kind of tier in terms of. Well, I'm sure a lot of people buy it for zombies already.
Call of
Yeah.
Duty Advanced Magic. Imagine
yeah.
that for the next one.
Well, if there's another game set in the future in terms of like a Call of Duty game or Battlefield, I am not going to play it.
You're at oot.
I'm done with shooting robots in the face. It's just
You're
boring.
dropping the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want that attitude when the future war comes.
I don't think that will happen in my lifetime.
Well, you don't know.
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
That's the thing. They didn't know.
That is the thing. Anyway, shall we move on to the good and bad stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
of this
I
week's?
genuinely don't know what we achieved with that conversation, but it was fun.
I'm just saying it's nice to have Jeff Goldblum back, and it looks like he's found a place where he can excel.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's found a home.
he's having a resurgence.
Yes. So last week we said that we were short of ideas for the good and the bad parts of this podcast. So we've been sent a lot,
Loads.
mainly by Richard Crossley. So he's got a ton here. Golden glow or yellow snow.
Good.
Warm socks, deadly pox.
Extreme.
Not really sure how they're related apart from the fact they rhyme. But anyway.
Yeah.
Jeremy Corbyn, Jeremy Hunt.
Oh, political.
He even says
A bit
political.
highbrow for us, that one.
Top beer or top gear.
Yeah.
Used to like Top Gear though, so
I like Top Gear. MVP or I need a pee. He even admits that he's clutching at straws here.
yeah,
Victoria Line or Northern Line.
yeah.
Very
these are-
London
these are-
centric.
These are weak. These are weak.
I'm just reading what's on the paper.
Well, we don't have to read everything out.
Well, I'm going to. Well hung or hungover.
Yeah, that's good.
And they sent a separate email saying lush or thrush.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. We've all been there.
Have you got any?
I have. Any thrush? This is from Steve. I mean, it wasn't. No one highlighted the name, so you should always do that for the podcast.
I think you can read that.
Just saying. So the excellent and the excrement.
Yeah.
Like it?
It's okay. So it's not as easy as you think, is it?
I think it's very easy, but
Well, come
the
on
shinola and the shit.
then. The what?
Shinola and the shit.
What's the shinola?
It's an old phrase.
Is it?
Shit or shinola? Yeah.
Shit or get off the pot.
The pink and the stink.
I like that one.
Even Dale's having a little laugh in the room over there. The crumpet and the crap. These are excellent, actually. Thank you for these, Steve.
Pink and the
The awesome and the arse.
Right.
I don't really want to read the last one out.
Go on.
The sublime and the sputum.
The fact that you read the
half
pink
rhyme.
and the stink.
Well, I wasn't expecting it to go there. I saw pink and I
just
thought,
read
"Ooh, it'll just be a dark colour or something.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, just finally from Andy Jacobs, woo woo or poo poo.
The bar's very high with that one.
Yeah.
I guess what's woo woo? Is that the cocktail woo woo?
Yeah.
Well, that's the only woo-woo I know of.
Probably
We'll go with that then.
should probably research woo woo a bit more. Billy Milby
Yeah.
sent these in. Jam or spam. Grand or bland.
Yeah.
Wanking, spanking. Depends what you're into.
I was going to say, I bet some people like both equally.
Bee's knees Fleas disease. Sweet tickles, sour
What's
pickles.
fleas disease?
Well, it's plague, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah. Wasn't
Okay.
all the fleas on rats that carried plague?
I don't know.
The plague wouldn't rhyme with bees knees, so he's put fleas disease. He's thought about it, Billy. Cheers, Billy.
What's the next one?
Sweet tickle, sour pickle. That's not even funny. Tight or shite.
Good.
Pac-Man or Taxman. Mario Sonic. We're
Harsh.
We're fading away. Evil knives, bow evil.
Well, Pac-Man or Paxman?
Yeah.
Do you
Well,
not
I
think
can both-
Paxman
I
is
can
good?
both.
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
both,
Yeah.
Don't have to choose. Don't have to choose.
Paxman once interviewed my dad
Did he? About what?
about his business. He gave him a grilling on stage in front of
What?
1,000 people.
Really?
Yeah, my dad became chairman of 2 companies that merged, and all the employees wanted to know what was going to happen in the future, and so
They got Paxman.
they got Paxman to grill my dad on stage. No, I thought it was a very good idea. I got the video somewhere. It's pretty good, actually. He's really tough on my dad as well, but my dad's pretty smart. And like afterwards, he said to my dad, "You should be a politician, not a businessman." Smart. Anyway,
Imagine that though. It's like coming for a job interview. Got Paxman to do it.
it was a long time. It was before Paxman was like the Rottweiler, but it's
Right.
still
Yeah.
like you
Yeah.
can
Still
see it. You can see it there.
That's where you like learn his trade on your dad. It's just
We should have got Paxman to interview Jeff when Jeff joined, our boss.
Do you think?
Yeah. I know you're listening, Jeff.
I've got a few more suggestions. Blake Brett says silky drawers or crack whores.
Okay. I mean, how long is this going to go on for?
A while. And pretty much all feedback from last week was this: red line or bread line. Last one: Oliver Lysett, buff or guff.
Buff or guff.
we just like
Excellent.
it.
Thank you
Yeah.
for them,
Have
everyone.
you got any more?
I've got some more, but
Oh,
maybe
great.
save them. Maybe save them.
This is a treat.
Maybe save them.
I'm going to say maybe people that are writing in, we appreciate them. Thank you. Keep them coming. But maybe just whittle them down to your best one.
Just the one.
Just the one. Just a really strong
Put
one.
it all into
Is
that
there an
one.
Rather than- 'cause
incentive?
People are just chucking them out now. They're not even trying with some of them.
Well, go on then. You come up with a good one.
I will.
All
You
right.
saying Chuck Sips is not tried with whoop or poop? Because I think that's offensive to Chuck.
Anyway,
Thanks, Chuck.
I've tried this week because our good stuff is Pip Boy,
Oh,
and you'll just have to wait to find out what the bad stuff is.
Because there's going to be a problem when that comes up.
Is there?
Yes.
Oh,
Just saying.
Good. So obviously the biggest thing to happen this week, Fallout 4 came out on Tuesday. Krupa, you've been playing a lot.
yeah. I had a week off work last week, unrelated, and I got a copy of Fallout 4, and I played it for about 10 hours, and I think I basically did nothing of note.
Basically takes that long to kind of
Like really
shift
get into
gear.
It's huge. I think our reviewer Dan Stapleton reached some sense of an ending around 55 hours in.
Right.
But you know, if you played out Fallout before, you can play this for hundreds and hundreds of hours, because it's not like, you know, there is a story to pursue, but most of it is basically, you know, exploring, finding things to do, meeting people, creating your own game within that game. I spent a lot of time. So there's a place where you live before you go into the vault and you get cryogenically frozen. This is not spoilers. After the bomb goes off, you kind of use that as a base, and you can tear down buildings and build stuff. You have to like basically build a city, and eventually throughout the game you recruit people to come back to your town.
Yeah.
I spent hours doing that, just tidying. There's loads of fences that were broken. I spent hours just tearing down these fences.
What? You spent hours tearing down fences?
Yeah, it was a mess.
This is supposed to be enjoyable.
It was a mess. The apocalypse. It made it right. It was
So that was part of my problem on a related note with Skyrim, is that made by the same company, but for the first hour or two of that, and I've got a very short attention span, I had to walk up a really big hill, and when I got to the top, I thought I was a hero, but this guy was just like, "Can you sharpen these swords?" I was like, "No," and that was the end of me playing the game.
I was in your apprenticeship.
Yes.
Are you guys joking, or is this real?
No, this
this
is
is
what you're
completely
spending
real.
your time
Well, you
doing.
don't have to do what
Well,
I'm
no.
doing, but you
Well,
mean,
But you've chosen to
I
do
chose
this.
to do
Well,
that because
I-
I thought it'd be a
I
good
would
thing
not
to
do
do, because I'll attract people to my town, and that will help me in other ways.
Nice
Yeah,
fences.
But there's, you know, multiple ways that you could pursue.
I would say
going
there's
about
got to
this.
be something better than
Oh,
nice
I did some
fences.
missions, but okay. So my big pet peeve
build a
was
bar.
I got the power armor.
Yeah.
Power armor is a big mechanical suit that protects you from radiation. Really useful for taking down enemies. It's a really good thing to get in the game.
Yep.
Got that about a couple of hours in. Took it back to the town where there's like a rig you put it on where you can like tweak it and upgrade it. And then I couldn't use it because the battery I had for it ran out. And there's a finite number of batteries in the game.
Oh.
Because I thought I was being really dim. I was like, oh, there must be a way I charge this up.
Yeah.
I just haven't got a lightning cable for it or something. I need to go find this and
They're
charge
really
it
hard
up.
to find.
And then
It's like a micro USB
I was
cable
like-
in this office.
I was like, this can't charge when I use my sweet power armor. And then when I was playing last week before Wikis went live, so I looked this week, and there's a finite number of power armor fusion cores in the game.
It is the apocalypse.
I know, but
What do you expect?
so I've got this thing that's just looking at me that I pumped a load of money into, thinking that I'd be good to upgrade this and get a load of use out of this.
Yeah.
Can't use it
Can't
now.
you just go and get some more batteries?
Don't know where they are. You just have to find them
Right.
in the entire map.
So
Unbelievable.
What are the
And then-
positives of the game?
Every time we go back, there's this guy saying you have to build some beds. So I'll be building beds for people. Apocalypse is awful.
It's kind of not what I expected in Fallout 4.
Yeah, there's other stuff to do.
Like the
but
world
I've been
itself.
mainly focusing on the fences and the beds.
I would say you're not getting the full experience.
Well, I've been turning down the fences to make the beds, but then as soon as I do that, he wants something else. I've put in
Have
drainage.
you actually left
I thought-
your
no.
little home to
Well,
go
I
and
thought-
explore the wasteland?
I've put in drainage because I don't want people going on the floor, and then I've also put in fresh water pumps.
Do you actually have to go and build it?
Yeah,
Or is it just
well,
a manual?
to a degree? You place something. I don't. You have to like
okay.
drill down and then
Right.
stuff like that.
I just had this vision of you in a big power suit going around just knocking down fences.
I saved this. See, a lot of the things just happen when you're walking around. It's all kind of like environmental and ambient. And I came across this diner, and these savages were attacking this diner. So I saved this woman who was screaming inside. And I went in and I forgot to put my gun down, and she started shooting me in the face. I was like, I'm saving you. I was saving you. If you put your gun down quickly enough, they might forgive you, but they might not.
Right.
So I was rebooted it at that point.
I thought you was
'Cause
going
I
to say
felt
just
like
shot her
I
in the
just
face.
saved you. I don't want to have to kill you.
Right.
You know. But
One
I
of the
think
other
it looks
things.
nice.
But that's it. So you say it looks nice, but
Yeah, I
there's been
think
a
it
lot
looks-
of criticism that it doesn't. Well, certainly, two things. That it doesn't look that great, and then certainly it's riddled with bugs.
Yeah.
Which is kind of, Skyrim had the same criticism.
Yeah. You have to save frequently.
Right.
I would use the quick save a lot because it can put you in situations. I've had a couple of situations where it's checkpointed, me in a no-win situation,
Right.
where I've run out of ammo and I can't get back, and you're basically screwed.
Right.
So I use quick save. There's some bugs, but it's a huge game. But I think it looks really pretty in places. Obviously, it's the apocalypse, but it's a
GTA
nice-looking apocalypse.
GTA 5 was a huge game, and I don't think I encountered any
That many bugs, yeah.
of note
Note.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, some people have ascribed this to Bethesda using kind of aging engine that they're kind of bolting things onto rather than investing in completely new.
It takes a lot of money to
Tech.
build a brand new engine.
Yeah.
And for no kind of immediate reward.
Yeah, but I think of all the things to criticise it for, I think it's I think Fallout 3 was a pretty dreary looking game.
Yeah.
Whereas this is like it's basically Boston and New England that's been devastated, but there's still blue skies. The night sky is really pretty, and even though everything's been destroyed, you come across kind of vistas that are really impressive. And there's a really funny Easter egg actually. If you go to Boston, and you can find a door.
Yeah.
And the door says Provost, which is German for like Prost. It's like Cheers. You go inside, and it's the Cheers bar, recreated, and it looks a bit like it. But then you go to the edge of the bar, and Cliff and Norm are there as skeletons. Right. One of them's dressed as a postman.
That's pretty cool.
That's
good.
funny.
There's lots of Easter eggs like that. in
Yeah.
there.
So you're going to stick with it?
I'll probably tool about in a bit more.
Build a few more fences.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not having them going on the floor again. I've got a nightmare. I've got to plant stuff now. I've got to do some cropping. But I don't have any potatoes yet, so I've got to go find potatoes. It's a nightmare.
Chris, are you interested?
My wife's dead, and I'm still going shopping.
You've not sold it to me. I'll be honest.
But some people love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not my bag.
No.
What have you been up to?
I've been away. I went to Los Angeles for Halloween. And the screen's just gone out behind you, so that's... it's all right, we can keep going. Yeah, I always wanted to go to LA for that particular holiday, and it was good fun.
Halloween.
You'd be really coy
It
about
was
it.
good fun. I had a crazy week, though. And I got some recommendations. Go to Los Angeles and go to Not Scary Farm and do the horror mazes.
Not Scary Farm.
Yeah, Not Scary Farm. They call it Not Scary Farm.
Okay.
Although maybe only do 2 mazes. You don't need to do all 13 like we did because they're all the same. It's all just someone hiding around a corner and jumping out of you when you walk through.
And you did all 13 of them?
Yeah.
Right.
The people I was with wanted to do them more than I did.
Good.
But they were my ride, so... Carrie the musical, though. They've done a musical of the horror film and the book, Carrie. It was brilliant. All kinds of crazy special effects. And it was all...
special effects really good.
Yeah, like proper telekinesis going on. I couldn't figure out how stuff was moving and flying around. Blood everywhere, and then towards the end, like people just flying over your head and stuff. It was really impressive. I mean, the songs were terrible, but
right. Can you remember any titles of any of the songs?
No,
like
no, I don't even know what the titles.
I was going to say something there. No,
go on, do it.
No, I'm not going to do it.
Go on.
I'm having a period. Is that the opener?
No.
I'm having a period for the first time.
No, I mean that seems heartbreaking.
But not in a musical.
I went to an LA Lakers game.
Yep.
Spent too much money on it, and it was a bit boring. And they lost in the last minute, $140. Wow. And then I did
a good seat or just
no in the rafters.
Oh my god!
They lost in the
last minute, last seconds. Yeah.
Did you fully understand what was going on? It just kind of just goes.
Yeah, too many baskets, too many scores in that sport. I went to Blumhouse, had a party. Jason Blum, the horror filmmaker. That was interesting. I went as Freddy Krueger. He went as Jem from Jem and the Holograms.
Don't know what that is.
I don't know if we grew up in the same decade or not sometimes, Alex. It's a famous cartoon.
Is it?
Yeah, it was aimed at girls more than boys, but...
The movie didn't do very well.
No, it didn't do very well. And I did the Halloween parade in West Hollywood. Bit much that was,
but like because
it's a bit like being at Notting Hill Carnival, which is not my scene.
But it felt like Halloween was bigger here this year than it's ever been, and it's only continuing to kind of grow. Like, what's it like in the US? It's like literally everyone is out.
Well, especially LA as well. Yeah. Everyone's out. I mean, LA's a big entertainment town, and you know, I think Halloween is a big thing for people. That are, you know.
Did you see E.T.?
No.
Oh.
No.
That's a shame.
I did. My favourite thing that I saw in the parade, though, was... I don't know how they'd done it, but the 4 people had got a bed, a big double bed, an old brass bed, and they'd put themselves at either end of it, like dressed old, and they were like the family from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but going along in this bed, like walking along in this like a full-size bed. That looked good.
It's good, but then we at a party, you're like, oh, I've got to decouple myself from this bed.
I don't know how they got it there, or how they got it home. But yeah, I mean, do you think you're going to be trick-or-treating soon?
We would have done it this year, but we were in a Premier Inn.
You go around all the rooms.
Yeah, just knock on every door.
So, like, Scarlett did knock on our door, but there was no way on earth I was going to walk down the corridors and knock on doors. So we pretended, and she went outside, knocked on the door, and I gave her some sweets.
That's cute.
Stuff. But yeah,
really nasty trick on her.
And she did that 37 times.
Just pretended to not be there, didn't open the door. She was out there all night.
But yeah, we'll definitely do that kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't allowed to trick or treat when I was a kid because my mum said it was begging.
Yeah.
Right.
I had that.
But I don't even remember it being that much of a thing when I was a kid.
I'm sure the first we all heard of it was watching E.T. Yeah. It was like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Do you not feel like, slightly adjacent topic, but like bonfire night is not a thing now as much because of Halloween overshadows it?
I don't know. It was
I feel like for kids it still is because it's just every school has it and every local
I guess so. Yeah,
campus and whatever.
They definitely like Scarlett's learning all about Guy Fawkes at the minute. All that kind of stuff.
So. Lovely thing to learn about.
I'm getting tortured.
She's reading V for Vendetta.
She is like, remember the 5th of November, like, what's the rhyme? Something treason and plot.
Yeah,
treason and plot.
Yeah.
I see no reason why.
Yeah, she's saying all that. Oh, that's a bit weird thing to say to a 5-year-old.
She's saying, burn Christians.
Yeah, she doesn't really talk about that.
Okay. Play that bit down.
But anyway, yeah, I was just recommending Carrie the Musical for any of our Los Angeles listeners.
Right.
If it's still on.
Okay. As well as playing Fallout, you've been playing Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I played all the Tomb Raider on my week off. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Is it?
It's really good. Like, if you played the last Tomb Raider game, which was kind of a reboot for the series, going an origin story.
Yeah.
Everything that game did really well. This one does better, but in a probably bigger, more interesting environment. I think it's most interesting when it's less like its obvious comparison, which is Uncharted.
Yeah.
You know, Uncharted does that spectacular action sequence where you're, marginally controlling the lead character better than anyone.
Yeah.
Like, we saw that bike chase from E3, and that's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the best studios in the world on the top of their game. You know, Tomb Raider has moments like where you're sliding down a hill and you're grabbing ice, but I think where it really shines is when you do the puzzle stuff.
Yeah, because that was certainly my concern when was it Gamescom they showed it, and pretty much the entire thing they focused on was just gunplay, and I'm like,
yeah, and I think apparently the reason
game.
for that is if you show a puzzle, like you're solving it for people. And they didn't that's what they said is like, oh, you're not showing tombs on demos and stuff. It's like, yeah, because if you show it, you kind of know the solution to it.
Right.
So there's loads of puzzles in the game, and there's loads of optional puzzles in the game that you can find. So when you're exploring, so the way that the map operates, you go from A to B, but along that you'll hit environments where it's like a small open world, and off that central area, as you kind of upgrade your equipment, it's a bit Metroidvania, you can unlock certain optional tombs. So in the first area, there might be a tomb that you can get into if you have explosive arrows. You'll only get that towards the end of the game. Right. So there's an incentive to go back. But some of the optional tombs are really good. Like, they don't take longer than like 20 to 30 minutes, but they're fun.
So what they should do in that instance, going back to your point about spoiling the game, it's what they did for the South Park game, because same thing, they were worried that, you know, if you see the gags in demos or whatever, so they did a self-contained 20-minute, 30-minute kind of demo. So that could be the demo that if you haven't played it or you want to try it on Xbox Live or whatever, you do that. That's the demo they show, but it never actually makes it into the final game.
Yeah. Well, they could have done the optional tombs, I guess. But I think that's when it's really fun because
that turned me off the game, that demo, because I was like, I know that Tomb Raider does
I definitely think that,
lot.
because the one that they showed, I think it was a game, maybe E3 or Gamescom, where it's really stealthy and she's going around, she's jumping off rooftops and like slashing people's throats, and that's when it's less distinct. That's when it's less Tomb Raider. That's when it justifies its like the whole reboot thing much less. But I think.
So is it quite balanced in terms of
like
gunplay and
the tempo, the rhythm is what you expect.
Right.
Big shooty section, puzzle section, shooting section, and by the end you're going, I wish there's probably more of the puzzle sections. But you know, we live in an age where action games with guns sell very well, so it needs that component.
Of course.
And the gunplay is really good. Like, I think the combat's fun.
Yeah.
It's just I like the other bits more.
So, are you going to sink more time into Fallout or Tomb Raider? You finished Tomb Raider,
but I'm going to go back to Tomb Raider and do all the optional tombs because I really want to. And also, I think it looks beautiful. It's a really good-looking game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really stunning.
All right. Last Pip-Boy news of the week. The trailer for Warcraft came out, but it came out shortly after we finished the podcast, actually. You saw Warcraft a long time ago, or at least you went on the set. And now you're able to talk about it.
Donkeys years ago. Because I was thinking, when I went on the set of that, I went for dinner with Toby Kebbell, who's in it, and he'd just got the role of Doctor Doom in Fantastic Four.
He was buzzing.
Which has come out months ago. And it's still not out till next summer, Warcraft. So that's a crazy long period of time.
So it probably was like 2 years ago that you did the set visit.
Yeah, in Canada.
And so is it the same trailer they showed at Comic-Con?
Yeah, I think so, pretty much.
And as a movie fan rather than a Warcraft fan, what are your thoughts?
It's hard to get... someone that doesn't know Warcraft, so coming at it cold, it's hard to get my head around it. Obviously, I know a lot more than's in the trailer, which makes it a bit weird for me. And I've seen things in terms of the facial, the motion capture and how the faces look on those characters. I think it's going to be really incredible to look at, but you can't really get a sense of it in that trailer because you're just getting snatches of people saying things. So at the moment, for me, the characters are a bit too animated in that I'm not really seeing them as real creatures. I'm seeing them as almost like cartoon characters that are going to interact with humans. But I don't know, it's hard to judge. I feel like you'll get much more of a sense of them if you spend more time with them and see them. I don't know, it's just hard to get my head around what it is right now.
Yeah. Do you my concern is to the mainstream is that they're just look at it and go, it's another Lord of the Rings film, and we've had 6 of those, and unfortunately the last 3 weren't that good.
Yeah, I don't think that's definitely a danger, and it's gonna be compared to that all the way through. It's just even that they're frigging orcs, half the film's about orcs, so they don't have a different name.
I guess some of them are called Uruk-hai. But again, I think, you're basically looking at humans versus orcs.
Yeah, I agree. And it's selling a whole new myth to people. Yeah, I really don't know what's going to happen to that film. I'm hoping it works, you know, like the filmmaker and.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like, you know, looking at all the stuff that you got when you were on set, he's certainly saying the right things about, you know, this isn't a video game movie.
And
it's a movie that's telling a story, and it's focused on the characters, and the fact that it's a video game is almost secondary to all of that. But also, you know, huge fan of the video game he is. Like Rob Kaczynski, who we've had on the podcast, has sunk God knows how many hours.
I think that's really interesting that Duncan Jones actually plays games.
Yeah.
Like he's been in our office a couple of times, and he knows games. He plays a lot of PC games.
He's more interested in talking about games than movies, to be honest. And we'll get him in here again soon to do the same.
And I think with a lot of these adaptations thus far, you've had people attached that really maybe don't know the source material, and it's not a case of it's not a case of duplicating or turning that experience onto the big screen. It's about adapting it.
Yeah.
So to have someone who knows both media really well, I think it's a cool
it's kind of
and a
almost
useful
like
thing.
I guess like J.J. Abrams and Star Wars. You know, the love is there of the source material, so he's going to try and turn that passion into a great movie.
Yeah.
I'm just intrigued to see what the way into the movie is, like what the first half hour is, because I think with Lord of the Rings, you got to know the hobbits and spend time with them, and you fall in love with them, and they're essentially humans.
Yeah,
they are humans, but they're just in a different shape. Whereas in this, I wonder if it's going to kick off with spending more time with the orcs, and then I don't know. It's harder as a viewer. I think I'll find it harder to understand these people and kind of empathise with them if that's my way in, rather than kicking off with the humans and spending time with them.
Yeah.
I think it might be quite jarring. But I don't know. That's pure speculation. I don't know how they structured the film, but. I don't know. Everyone around this table and everyone listening, I think, wants there to be good video game movies.
Sure.
You know, it's only going to help the industry both ways. So
it's the same with the Assassin's Creed movies. The main thing that draws me to that is Fassbender, because it's rare that he puts in a poor performance. So I just hope that he's got something to work on, which I'm hoping he will have.
Yeah.
But again, if anybody can do Warcraft, I think it probably is him.
Let's
I think
hope so.
He will do Duncan Jones will do a much better job than Sam Raimi, I think.
Do you think?
Yeah.
But Raimi's got experience with the big spectacle.
But at the same time, I think the passion and it feels like even the people that he's pulled together on it.
Yeah.
He's got a great crew together in terms
yeah.
of actors and everything.
Behind the scenes, he's certainly got the best of the best.
Right.
Really has.
Yeah.
His editor edited Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah. Old fella.
My God.
Yeah. I had dinner with this guy. I was chatting with him
It's
at
not
dinner.
bad, is it?
And he was saying, oh yeah, Brian, I helped Brian De Palma get this gig because he helped me get my previous gig, and it really helped my career. I was like, oh, what was that? He said, oh, Star Wars. I was like, what?
Yeah,
Star Wars. And I'm suddenly on IMDb. Oh yeah, you did. You edited Star Wars.
Wow.
And he edited all of De Palma's early films. So yeah, he did source code, I think, with Duncan. And so I remember Duncan saying to me that he's only ever worked with this guy now. He's just great.
Yeah.
And the guy doesn't work anymore. He only works with Duncan now when this stuff comes up.
Also, good for Duncan. Recently, they announced that Mute is
Mute's going to happen.
it's going ahead. He's been talking about this for ages. This project, and it looks like it's happening in between.
And someone said Sam Rockwell's going to be in it. So is it going
to
be
Paul
like
Rudd, and there was someone else as well.
It's going to be like a pseudo sequel to Moon, because he always said that like the idea was like in the background in Mute you'd see on the news like the character from Moon and what had happened to that character.
Right,
so I wonder if he'll actually be in awesome
shared universe.
Yeah, I think that's his idea.
If Warcraft is successful, is the plan to do more?
Yeah,
big time
with him, or
I think he is contracted. Okay. Yeah,
no, definitely. And what Rob kind of said to me is that his frustration is that like the story's just getting going when the film ends.
Right,
like the bits that he loves from that universe happens down the line. So they're just for him, they were just getting to the good stuff.
Well, it seems like they're quite confident with it, because in the UK it's subtitled The Beginning.
Right,
Warcraft: The Beginning.
But at the same time, if they've not come out and said that they're doing a trilogy or something like that,
I think they've said it's three. I think maybe in one of the videos we've got on the site, Jones talks about doing 3 movies, or he's contracted for 2
It's definitely the plan.
Yeah,
it's whether
but whether it
it's not like they've done a Lord of the Rings where they've had the confidence to make all 3.
The other actor for Mute is Alexander Skarsgård.
Ah, he's hot.
Ooh. He is.
All right.
Good.
The opposite of hot. Badly Drawn Boy.
Who's one of my favourite artists. So
really?
I like Badly Drawn Boy.
Is he still putting out stuff?
I bought The Hour of the Bewilder Beast, his first album, on the day it came out. Well, actually, I was sick off school that day, and so I asked my mum to go to Woolworths to buy it, and she thought I was joking. I said, "Can you get me The Hour of the Bewilder Beast by Badly Drawn Boy?" And she's like, "What? That's not a thing."
Oh, the sickness he's gone. It's delusional.
So I wrote it down on a bit of paper, and she handed it over to the person because she was too embarrassed to say it.
Right.
It's one of my favourite albums. So how can that be a negative? I mean, he can't sing.
And when was the last time he actually did anything?
I don't know. I went to see him in a gig in Brighton. I bunked off school for the afternoon.
This is all like years and years ago.
Went down to Brighton and went to a pub with my mates before the gig, and it was afternoon. It was empty apart from him in there. So we went and had a drink with him.
What's his real name?
He's got the same name as a cricketer, Damon Goff.
Brian Lara.
Like Darren Goff. Damon Goff, I think.
Yeah.
I might have made that up.
Yeah.
Anyway, can I just say for the record, I don't agree with Badly Drawn Boy being a bad thing. Once Around the Block's one of the best songs of all time.
Unlucky. I named it, so
Spotify.
Next week you can name the good and the bad.
Well, I've got some already.
Oh, go on then.
Beers or tears.
Amazing.
It's good. And then these ones have a theme that I wrote.
Okay. He's made a list.
Boobs and moobs. Good and bad. Breasts and pests.
There's a theme, isn't there? There's very much a theme to your writing.
Tits and nits. You can use any of them at any point. Dale likes them. I can see him smiling in the other room.
Write about what you know. That's the first rule of writing.
All right, we'll stick with beers or tears.
Yeah.
Knockers and fockers.
See, he can't help himself, can he?
Jugs and mugs.
But jugs and mugs are good. They're both good.
Not like you mug.
And what's a flocker?
You mug.
Oh, it's a film.
See?
It's a bad film.
I'm sorry about this.
Melons and...
Felons.
Anyway, the bad news this week is that
We're not winning that award next year.
is that there was a Jurassic World game in the works.
Apparently.
But the studio went under and it is now extinct. Like the dinosaurs it focused on.
Yeah, look, I wonder if they nixed that game as well. Like maybe they were set like
it was early alpha footage that was leaked this
also
week.
the quote attached to it was that it would have been like an Xbox Live and PSN game, which obviously is totally fine. There's loads of really good games, but it's such a strange.
Couldn't they get the guys that made Turok to do a Jurassic Park game?
God, I don't know what they're doing these days. The last Turok wasn't very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
First one was good though.
Everyone wants a dinosaur game.
I think your memories are like you're playing Turok while listening to Badly Drawn Boy. Like neither of those have done anything good for ages.
Where are you going? I'm having a pint with Damon Goff down in Brighton. Like the lead character looks like Chris Pratt.
It's a lot like Chris Pratt.
It's Chris Pratt, and there's video footage, there's testbed footage of him like going into stealth mode. There's some Stegosauruses, a T-Rex.
There's a raptor headbanging a locker, which is a bit.
Do you remember that bit? It's the best bit of the movie. I wonder if it's something they were testing out and going, could this be viable? But
I'd love to see a game like that, like Jurassic. Dino Crisis. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone will look at Ark Evolved. Like everyone loves to look at that game. I don't think it's coming to console. I think maybe is it on Xbox One yet? Maybe. But like people want that dinosaur game. People wanted Far Cry to do that. Primal isn't dinosaurs, is it? It's after dinosaurs. It's like mammoths and stuff and saber-toothed tigers.
But at the same time, the thing that makes it is having the John Williams score in the background. Yeah. Imagine that if you're kind of running around and it's like the gates open and it's like that'd be incredible.
Yeah. Not happening.
But at the same time, I wouldn't want it to be a kind of budget title. I want it to be.
So I remember a few years ago, they brought out a Watchmen game that was Xbox Live.
Right.
And it was like, Watchmen was a big film that year.
Sorry.
It was a really big.
Hate that game.
Really big film that year, and it was like an Xbox Live game. I played with my cousin, and it was terrible. It's just like this beat 'em up.
Right.
It was terrible.
There you go. And somebody else has said that there's too many Star Wars trailers and images. Now, bear in mind, I've been on a Star Wars blackout for the last 3 months.
I'll put that in there, but I'm not obviously, because that is the point. We're not going to talk about it.
I don't know if there is or isn't. I think they've actually been very good.
Okay, what was the last thing you saw?
I didn't look at the TV
Asian
spot
trailer
or the Japanese trailer, no.
So I think, again, like just for everyone listening as well, I'm not going to say anything specific.
No.
But after that, obviously, me and Gav had to watch them. We've done like analysis on the site. There's a lot more footage in the Japanese trailer and even the 30-second TV spot where you can start to work out certain beats, I think. And in the new images that came out, certain costume things give certain things away in the new images.
There's a lot of stills, and I unfortunately had to look at them today because I was tweeting the story, and so I went through to find an image, and it was like I kind of wish I hadn't seen all that.
And then I saw some quotes from Abrams from the interview it's in Entertainment Weekly, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, and he's saying stuff about, oh, this character, actually, they're not in the movie all that much. And then saying what this character is known by now in this movie. And it's like, it's fine, but it's like filling in those little details that in the movie you would give you a little bit of
the thing is, are we
nice.
treating this differently though? I mean, obviously it's our job to, and you are specifically combing through things so much. Whereas if you just saw that TV spot once, is it just, oh, that looks exciting?
Probably.
And it's not going to you're not going to be figuring everything out in your head because it's 30 seconds.
Probably. I think also it's at odds with the campaign thus far. Like, we've had relatively few drops, and we're so close now. To get all this in, a short amount of time feels more. Whereas Avengers, we were seeing loads of that throughout the year leading up to it.
It's just how the marketing people have decided to do it, haven't they? They feel like it needs a last push. Now people can buy tickets, so they've obviously just.
I don't think it needs a last push.
There's always
more
money
to
be
bring
made.
out.
And
Sure,
more, get people to buy tickets now rather than wait. I know a lot of people that have said I'm definitely seeing it, and I was like, have you booked your ticket? They were like, no. I was like, well, you're gonna have to book
you see
tickets
you
soon.
see in
Like,
March.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, obviously we're going to go and see it day one, but I was talking to the missus about, do you fancy going to see it over Christmas? And she's like, oh, I'll see what you think first. I'm like, okay.
Wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, I don't know if we can. So.
Why aren't we going at midnight?
Because I'm going to be asleep, quite frankly. You can
Not
go
for
at
Star
midnight.
Wars.
Yes.
Probably too late now.
9:30 is just right. Get into town, cup of coffee, watch the film.
A few beers.
Beforehand.
Take a few cans in.
Yes.
Oh,
it's exciting. We're getting really close. How many podcasts till Star Wars?
Ooh.
4.
4? Is it?
4 or
Something
3?
like
3
that.
or 4.
Yeah.
we should have worked. Yeah, 4.
That's a
Exciting.
good point. Yeah, it depends because we normally record podcasts on a Thursday. So do we podcast after?
We can't make any plan.
Podcast.
Tell us what to do, Disney. Tell us when we can see it and who we're interviewing, and then we'll know. We should do a Star Warsy podcast though.
Do it in the pub.
A pre one, like picking our favourite moments or something.
Oh, from the films thus far.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
We should do something Star Wars themed.
But
Because if we don't like the film, we might not want to talk about it afterwards. So
I'm sure there will be lots to talk about.
Even if we don't like it.
Yeah. But the other thing is, like, just on social media, so much stuff is embedded in Facebook. Images. Oh my God. Like, it's just impossible to try and avoid. And even people's theories. It's like,
someone did that to me yesterday in the pub. They told me their theory,
right,
and it sounded quite like a good theory. And I was
right.
well, why?
Yeah.
I didn't want to hear that.
I don't know.
That's why I'm not thinking about it.
So anyway, if anybody writes into this explaining their Star Wars theory, I'm not going to read it. In fact, I'm not going to look at any emails.
Well, now you've
or
said
social
that.
media for the
now
next
you've
month.
said that, everyone's going to bloody write in with it.
I'm not going to be on the podcast for a
Make up the most ridiculous rumours you can and send them to Alex.
You can do that if you want.
Care of this podcast.
Now it is the time for us to end the world and for Chris Tilley to crawl into a little bunker and tell us, if the world were to end, what he would take with him.
What did you guys take?
I took Minecraft, the video game.
That you've never played?
I've never played it, but
Good time to get into it.
You absolutely hate it. 10 minutes in, you're like,
I think I will like it though because it's limitless. I can build whatever I want. The only thing that's
You don't. How long's it been around?
5, 6
quite a
years.
long time.
You've not liked it enough. You've not been interested enough to
it's
have
not
a go.
that I've not liked it, but it's one of those things that it's a kind of. I like games in this real world that have a start and a finish, and I can finish them within a reasonable time. Whereas if I had tons of time, then I'd absolutely sink it in. In a nuclear bunker, it'd be the perfect game.
Well,
to
when
take.
this happens and you're in there, I hope you hate it.
I also took Lego because I like Lego.
Okay.
And I can build whatever I want.
There's a
theme
pattern
here.
for
building.
There's a pattern for
You'll
it.
have it. To be fair, mate, if Fallout 4 is anything to go about, you've got a lot of other building
Yeah.
to do.
I'm going to take
So you're
Fallout.
doing Lego, you're doing Minecraft, and you're going to have some bricks and mortar as well. That's your third thing.
A microbrewery.
Microbrewery. Oh, we're on the same page.
Really?
Yeah, but I won't get there yet. What were your
I
Dan?
haven't done mine yet. I'm doing mine next week.
Oh,
This is the last week.
Oh.
this is it. This is it. We're never doing it again.
I'd keep them to myself then.
You've been left out in the wasteland.
Right. Got nothing.
I've done something a little bit different.
Oh.
Okay.
I've gone off piste. So let's start with my first one first. This is normal. So
First one first.
that's how I like to roll.
Is it boobs and moves?
I'd like a pub. Well, what? Don't shake your head. You had a microbrewery. Mine's better.
Yeah, but at least I make my own beer, whereas you're just taking a whole pub. What, with bar stuff?
I'm getting to it.
Oh,
So it's got a well-stocked bar,
Yeah.
obviously. Pool/snooker. I prefer snooker, but I know most pubs have pool.
Yeah.
I would rather snooker. Darts. You know how much I like darts.
Yep. Plays every lunchtime.
Sky Sports on the big screen.
Pointless, but okay. What's showing reruns?
Yeah. There's Sky Sports Gold, all that stuff. And this is key, barmaids.
Right.
Barmaids.
Okay.
And that is key.
Lovely
So-
barmaids.
What happens after a month? Because even if you've got a well-stocked bar, you're going to run out of beer.
No.
Yeah.
It's well stocked, so that means indefinite beer.
I don't think... It'd have to have a massive cellar.
Snooker and darts are games you can play forever. Just get better and better at them.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm happy with that. That's choice one.
And that's one choice, isn't it? That's just the whole thing.
That's one choice. Is a
choice.
pub. It's
Okay.
it's three
With all
letters,
those
one word.
elements in
Okay.
it.
You're going to say like London in because it's got lots of pubs and restaurants.
London
Too
as it
much.
was.
That's ridiculous.
Right.
Why would I
London
do
as
that?
it was before the apocalypse.
Number two, Larry David.
Right?
Yeah.
I really like Larry David. He makes me laugh. I think I want to be happy and laugh. And I agree with him on almost everything he says in real life. And then his character, which obviously says a lot of unsavoury things and does a lot of... I kind of agree with him as well. So I think we'd just be able to shoot the shit a lot together, just sitting
And
there.
pool.
Sitting in your pub,
Yeah, putting the world to rights.
saying inappropriate things
Do
to
you reckon he
bar
likes
staff.
darts?
Oh, he'll have to, I'll be honest. There's not a lot else to do.
Have you got snacks in the pub?
Well, of course, it's a
Yeah.
well-stocked bar.
Okay, so what are you talking? Scratchings, crisps,
I don't
nuts?
like scratching.
How many different
nuts.
How many different beers you got on tap?
It's well-stocked, so it's
I know.
everything. It's everything.
Oh, it's
That's
everything.
ridiculous.
It's everything.
This is my fallout shelter. This is my pub.
Does it do...
Camden Hells is definitely there. It's mainly, I'll be honest, it's mainly Camden Hells and vodka.
Does it do pub
And
food?
tonic.
Does it do food? Or is it just snacks?
Yeah, it's a well-stocked
does-
bar.
They don't keep food
Please
in the
stop
bar.
asking him questions because he's just going to keep saying that. What is your third choice after
So
a
this
pub
is-
and Larry David?
This is where I'm going off piste.
Right, really?
Okay.
I thought I'd let the people decide. So
The people.
I put it on Twitter and we'll pick the best from what
We're going to do it live, are
my
we?
followers on Twitter. I did it earlier. I did it just before I came in.
You want to make sure you get responses.
And
Yes, just sitting here, refreshing.
no, there's quite a lot. I started making notes and quite a few came through. So let's go through what the readers suggested, or the Twitter people. So we're kicking off with Toby Armstrong says, Back to the Future box set. Someone that knows me and knows my heart.
Yep.
Greg McLennan says, Elvis, Dolly or Hank Williams. I wouldn't mind Dolly Parton, but maybe young Dolly Parton.
Chris,
What?
just stop it.
She's a very good singer.
Right.
Yeah, and people say... Yeah,
And she works
she's a very
from 9
good
till
singer.
5. So,
A dude I know in the States called Moises, he says Fallout 4. I see what he's done there.
I think you'll have enough of that.
yeah.
Chris Warren says Infinite Kitten.
Infinity Kitten.
That's what Rory picked.
That's what-
He
Rory
said
picked.
Infinite Kitten.
Okay, maybe it's just unlimited kittens.
Martin Chadwick says a tablet. Providing internet is still working, it has endless possibilities.
Of course the internet's not still working.
And
We've got
not if
Sky
it's-
Sports, mate. Like,
Does he mean a paracetamol as well? In which case,
It's
that's...
just the one. Yeah.
Nicholas Gallagher says Infinite Kittens are all the rage. Trilson Fist says Swiss Army knife. Mark Stewart says another human, preferably female.
You got your barmaids.
The Irish Nerd says the very best of Enya. It's lovely music.
in the...
In this pub, this well-stocked pub, have you got a jukebox?
Yes, I meant to write that down. Yeah,
And
definitely a jukebox.
and is it all music ever made?
It's a well-stocked jukebox.
Right, okay.
No, I think I'd probably pick what was on the jukebox.
Okay. What, just as the blast is coming towards you, like, hang on a minute.
So. More Motel,
iTunes
more
library.
Sam Cooke.
I've got Enya! Ellie Goulding.
Notre Dame says highlight packages of last 3 Liverpool matches. And that's because Palace beat them the last 3 games.
But if you've got Sky Sports Gold, it's all on there, right?
Yep, all on there. Every football match ever. The Jedi Ranger has a good one.
Yeah.
The Genesis device from Wrath of Khan.
Okay. That is a good idea.
Clever.
Surely you have to launch it at the planet, and doesn't it kill the planet before it creates new life?
Can't remember.
Yeah. Maybe like
It sounds like a good idea.
maybe set it off at the bottom of the garden and get inside.
But you haven't got a garden, you're inside a bunker.
Oh, it's a well stocked.
Add,
It's got a beer garden.
my friend Tom Lancaster says Shaolin Soccer DVD. That's because I made him watch that film and he hated it.
Right.
Adam Thomas says Netflix.
Oh, I don't think it will be working, but okay.
Well, I believe that people are taking in things that are similarly ridiculous.
Why? Everything I've got is self-sufficient
No,
within that world.
Minecraft, you haven't got a computer to play it on.
Have you got electricity?
What? Yes, of course. Well, how's your pub going to work?
Well, then I've got it for Netflix as well.
Well, it's not the electricity, it's the internet connection. There's no internet.
There's electricity with no internet.
There's electricity but no internet.
Yeah, 'cause
Yes.
servers have died elsewhere.
Yeah.
Rick Grimes says Fleshlight. I don't really understand what they are.
I don't believe that.
Rick
for a second.
Grimes.
Alex Taverner says a piece of paper to remind you to take the other two things. And then, yeah, someone else has said Fleshlight. So I think
Two people that know you very well.
I don't
Hey,
know.
people really love this.
I've talked about it on here before. I don't really get why Fleshlight's useful when you've got a hand.
You taking your hands?
Yeah, they're in the pub.
So I think I'm going to go with. Well, what do you think out of that lot?
Genesis
device. It's an excellent.
It's pretty good because
It's
it
excellent.
kind of negates having any of the other things.
Yeah.
Start again with the barmaids.
I don't think. Yeah, but it'll take a while to build a well-stocked pub, though.
Yeah, you have that as a basis.
Yeah. Is Spock inside the torpedo?
I don't know. Yeah, because the other thing I wanted, which I just thought would be too far fetched, was Premiership football.
What, like, it league keep like going?
Yeah, like
What
What happens
players
if
just
you
get
get
older?
relegated?
But the players just get
Well,
older and
I just still
older.
watch Premiership football. It's fine. It would keep me entertained every week. So could I have Premiership football?
No. You've
All right,
picked your three.
it's the Genesis device.
Not just Genesis, which would be amazing. They could just play in a corner of the pub.
Well, he's out of retirement now, isn't he? So
Yes.
excellent. That was fun.
There you go. Those are Chris's nuclear Holocaust hideaways. I changed it to nuclear Holocaust hideaways because Holocaust hideaways
Sounds a bit
sounds like
extreme.
something completely different.
So
Isn't it?
Yeah, move on,
Get rid of
move
your
on,
gold and
move
your
on,
jewellery.
move on.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Let's move on to this week's feedback, which is pretty sparse after all of the amazing suggestions for good and bad. Tilly, you go first,
Suggestions.
please.
Yeah, I mean, none of it's been highlighted, so this is very amateur.
That's because I want you to read it all,
Very
including
amateur.
the date the email was sent and everything.
6th of November 2015 at 7:33 a.m.
Oh, early.
Robbie Smart says, good morning, IGNers.
Good morning.
I was hoping you could clarify something for me. In episode 301, after your Guillermo del Toro interview, some of your panel went to play Black Ops 3.
Rory and Luke Marley.
It was mentioned that the campaign was beefier. I hate to quote, but one of your team was told the campaign was 20 hours long. But in the review in progress on the website, the campaign is said to be 6 hours. Can you shed any light on this? I got quite excited for a COD game with a 20-hour campaign. And I'll read the rest after you've answered that
So there's
question.
either two suggestions here. You can play the campaign with 4 players. So if you play it 4 players, each 6 hours, it's actually 24 hours long.
So we were wrong.
So there's that. Or it's Luke Kamali making stuff up.
Okay, has anyone... Oh, he's
He's not
get
here.
in touch with him
Otherwise, I
today.
would ask him.
Yeah, maybe we'll come back to this next week.
But I think the latter is more likely.
It needs some clarification and potentially an official apology from
And a public shaming.
LK. And he also has a suggestion for good, bad points of the week. Covered in glitter or couldn't be shitter. It's very good.
That's very
It's
good.
very good.
What happens if your shit is covered in glitter?
Also, glitter's not that much fun the day after.
Yeah.
It gets in every crevice.
There you go.
Yeah. Same with shit.
But anyway, thank you, Robbie. Excellent email.
Kyle Chester Marsden, first time writer in. He went to see 4D Experience in the cinema, and he wrote in once and said it was too gimmicky.
Yeah.
Now he's gone back, experienced it again, and thought it was incredible. He went to see The Martian, and he says it was incredible. The opening scene with the panning shot of the globe had me feeling weightless and frankly a bit travel sick in a good way, as the seat revolved in a circular motion mirroring that on screen. Fast forward 20 minutes and I'm being hit with gale force winds and a misty fog as the storm Storm on Mars causes devastation to the crew members. I then have to plant potatoes for the next 20... What?
He's having a laugh.
I may be making that bit up.
Oh.
Strobe effects we then use sparingly and wisely, and much can be said about the water effects, which I should add. You can turn on and off via a button on the armrest. So basically what I'm saying is that whilst it may sound very gimmicky, it does. It does.
It sounds ridiculous.
I just got this idea of him spinning in the chair, sort of spraying him in the face. Just like The Martian.
Yes.
I actually thought he actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I would implore you all to give it a go.
Where does this happen? I didn't know this was an option.
Well,
I think
In England?
I think it's just in his living room.
Do we do this in England, though?
What did you say?
I feel like the Americans do 4D, but...
We will have to
It
look
says
it
a
up.
cinema
Yeah.
near him.
Okay.
That's good.
Tell us where.
Thank
We
you,
should all
Kyle.
go down, though. We should
It sounds ludicrous.
we should film ourselves Shia LaBeouf style.
On a slightly related topic, I went to see Spectre at the weekend, and it was like 11:30 showing, but because the kids, neither myself or Charlotte had anything to eat, so she went full hot dog first thing in the morning.
You never go full hot
But
dog.
the hot
Not
dogs,
first thing.
hot dogs weren't ready, and we were literally the film had started, and so she said,
the opening scene's the best bit.
"Can you bring it into me?" And I'm like,
What?
"What?" Anyway, so we're in there. The trailers have finished. Spectre starts. Mexico City. Door opens. Guy comes up. We're in the middle of the fucking row, and this guy's leaning forward with a hot dog top with like crispy onions and everything. And Charlotte's standing up and grabbing it and then eating the hot dog, and I'm just there going, "Oh my god, this is so
We're the worst
embarrassing."
people ever to go to the
So
cinema.
embarrassing. And then of course she's like, "What did he just say?" 'Cause she's grabbing the freaking hot dog, and I'm like, "Oh my."
There wasn't a lot of dialogue,
Not saying
thankfully,
much.
in that scene.
I don't care, but it's like,
So, apologies to anyone who was sitting behind Alex
Yeah.
in that screening of Spectre.
oh man. Well, apologies to me. I was so embarrassed. I was literally, she was there, and I was kind of facing the other way, as
Yeah.
if I was not related.
That's
to
grounds
her.
for divorce. And genuinely.
She liked the hot dog? Was it good?
She really stank. She turned around to talk to me, and she was like, "Ooh." And I was like, "Oh my god."
I might have a hot
Stop
dog at
speaking,
Star
stop.
Wars, though, but I won't have onions on it.
9:30 in the morning.
It's breakfast. It's a sausage.
It
You
would
have
be quite
sausage for
good.
breakfast.
I actually would quite enjoy that.
You sit with me?
I'll have one.
Yeah.
We're all sitting together, but we'll go on the end.
I drank too much. I ordered a large Fanta.
Do you need a wee?
I needed
I think
this
that's what you need to be
halfway
perfect.
Yeah.
No, it's worse because you ruined like the last 30 minutes of the film.
Well,
I nearly burst my bladder during Spider-Man 2. I didn't want to go for a week, and then I was actually in pain.
There was an 18-month period where Tom Cruise movies made me want to piss.
Yeah.
3 in a row, The Firm, A Few Good Men, another one. They were all...
An 18-month period.
Well, they came out
it's
every
fair,
6
okay.
months, and they were all 2.5 hours long, and they all just...
But it's
I
never
don't-
happened since.
No,
it's
it's
just
something
that. Just
about
that
it.
time.
It's
There
that
was a
cruise
period of
period.
time where he made me want to wee.
And you had a
firm.
tiny bladder. Anyway, I'm not going to drink.
Rainmaker.
I might have a coffee before Star Wars, but that's it.
Okay.
That's your lot, is it?
Good to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and I might take a bottle in.
Of,
Just to piss in. Just sat
but just
there.
for laughs. Don't do that. I ruined
Halfway.
the movie for everyone.
Oh, right. Okay.
We're going to be having hot dogs.
Can we go now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for this week's podcast. Thank you, as always, for listening, and we will be back same time next week. Until then, goodbye.
Cheerio.
Bye.